Alrighty, we are now recording. Hello, everybody. Thank you all for joining us in this three-part series and this third installment of our leadership workshop series here at SSARC. And this third installment is being a leader at UCI. So we have four amazing leaders here in the School of Social Sciences and elsewhere as well. I'm going to go ahead and introduce myself and then go ahead and let them introduce themselves. My name is Angel Salazar. I'm the SSARC program coordinator, and I look forward to this workshop. I was class of 2019 here at UCI, and we're in for a good one. All right, I'm going to place our first question in the chat, which is just introductions from everybody, and anybody who's ready to take this first question on, please do so.
So I could go ahead and start. Hi everyone, my name is Adrian. I am a double major in economics and political science, and I am from Burbank, California.
Thank you very much, Adrian. Elin, I saw that you were started on, you're muted, go ahead.
I got muted, but hi, my name is Elin, and I am a second year business economics major with a minor in psychological sciences, and my hometown is Seoul, South Korea.
Thank you, Elin.
And then, hello everyone, my name is Miriam Aguilar. I'm a fifth year double majoring in psychology and Chicano Latino studies with a minor in sociology, and my hometown is Fresno, California.
Thank you for sharing, Miriam. And in the chat, we had Joshua share, hello everyone. My mic and camera decided today they weren't going to get along, so I'm using the chat box as my main source of communication in this meeting. My name is Joshua Ma, and I'm currently a fifth year double major in Chinese studies and political science. My pronouns are he, him, his, and my hometown is Los Angeles from the 626. So we have a bunch of different folks here. We have folks from Southern California, NorCal, we have international students. So thank you very much for sharing. I'm going to go ahead and put the next question in the chat, which is, please share with me some identities that you carry and are willing to share. And this includes first gen, international student, English language learner, et cetera, et cetera.
I can go ahead. Oh wait, Adrian, you can go ahead first.
That's okay. You can go.
Okay. Some identities that I carry or are willing to share. I'm an international student from Seoul, South Korea, and English is basically like my second language. But because I've been speaking it for a long time, I feel like I'm more comfortable with English now. But yeah.
Oh, I could go next. I'm a first gen student here at UCI. First one in my family to go to university in the United States. And I'm just looking to be part of a great UCI first gen community.
Yeah, and Adrian, sorry, Miriam. Adrian has also helped in our FGFQ first quarter challenge. So that's also an identity that he's very familiar with. Sorry about that, Miriam. Go ahead.
It's okay. I also identify as first gen. I'm the first one in my family to go to college. Also, actually, similarly to Elin, English is my second language, but since I learned it like when I was going through school, I'm very comfortable using it now. But yeah.
Awesome. Thank you very much for sharing. All righty, folks. And then we're going to go ahead and go to our next question. Please tell me more about your first quarter at UCI, right? What type of feelings did you have when you were first here? I know I remember my first quarter here, like if it was yesterday. I'm sure there were a lot of mixed emotions, but nobody wants to hear me talk, so I'm going to hand it off to you all. How do you all remember, and how do you all feel when you were first here at UCI?
I could go just because I think have an experience that's similar to a lot of people. So essentially, first quarter UCI was virtual, but just being present in class, and I heard about first generation first quarter challenge through SPOP, student parent orientation that basically every UCI student goes through. And I decided to be part of it because that would definitely be something that could help me out. And I mean, it wouldn't be something that would hurt me, it would actually help me out. And I am a first generation student. I remember coming into UCI, being first gen, and I just thought to myself, wow, I'm the first one in my immediate family to go to university in the United States. And I was just wondering to myself, what am I going to do? How am I going to go through my courses? But at the end of the day, I was able to get this far. And bottom line, big picture that if I could give to everybody is simply never give up on anything and be open-minded and understand where there's a will, there will be a way.
I can go next. I guess like my first quarter at UCI was like about a year ago, and I was super excited. It was like a bit of mixed emotions just because I was flying to like a different country and I was leaving home. But I was super excited, but at the same time a little scared that I wouldn't really fit in. Um, but I'm super glad that I got involved very quickly, like as soon as I got here, just because I think I was able to find like my community very early on and like my second home, just because a lot of most, if not all of my family members are back home.
And then also similarly to Adrian, I'm a transfer student, so I transferred during like the pandemic. And I was pretty nervous and like scared because I was like, well, how am I gonna make connections? Like I know it's gonna be more difficult because things are virtual. And then also I really wanted to get involved because on my community college, like I didn't really do as much as I wanted to. It was pretty much just get through my classes and transfer and go to a university. So I was a little nervous, but at the same time, I use like Zoom and online to my advantage to like put myself out there and really get involved, even if it was virtually.
Thank you so much for sharing. Joshua put in the chat some identities that he carries are that he is biracial. Being half Black and half Chinese has definitely shaped his experience, not just at UCI, but his adult life in general, right? From the clubs he's joined to his experiences with professors and employers, both on and off campus. Staying true to himself and his identity has been a tightrope walk, and that has many twists and turns. Thank you for sharing, Joshua. And yes, back to our current question, when you think about your first quarter here at UCI, whether you're a transfer, whether you're an international student, you all have, come up through the ranks, and now you all are amazing student leaders here in the School of Social Sciences, right? And that's something that I want to highlight here in this workshop, right? That the narrative for a lot of, maybe international students and transfer students is a lot of times, stay in the books, like Miriam was saying, sometimes you get caught up in, just, an exam or getting your research done or getting your proposal sent out. I know, Adrian, we've talked countless about your proposal and whatnot. But I think you all paint a beautiful picture of what it is to be involved, with the student body here in the School of Social Sciences. All right. I'm going to put another question in the chat, which is, please share any organizations that you have been a part of, right? Any internships that you've participated in, and this could include any, Greek life, any councils, any time that you are in maybe ASUCI and whatnot. Anybody who feels ready and willing to take this one on, please do so.
I can go first. I was involved as soon as I got here, I was involved in Greek life, but it was like a professional business fraternity called Delta Sigma Pi. And I was also involved in 2 business orgs named In the Green, which is like a business sustainability club, and Sports Business Association, SBA. So these were all like business orgs that I was involved in. but two of the business orgs I mentioned later on, I am not involved in anymore. Not because I didn't like it or anything. It's just like it wasn't what I was expecting, and I feel like I just kind of wanted to see how it was like. So at first I was kind of afraid, like, oh, what would they think of me if I joined and just like left after the next quarter? But I feel like they were pretty like very nice about it, and they were like, oh, if it's not what you were looking for, it's fine. You can there are so many different orgs on campus that will be for you, and I guess like a better fit for you. So I guess just like the process of like trial and error, just seeing what is right for you and what you want to pursue later on as a career. Um, it's just getting really involved gives you like the time to think about your career path and like what you want to be involved long term. So just because you join an org doesn't mean you have to stay in it for like the whole all 4 years, I guess. Yeah.
So I could go next. My freshman year when I came to UCI, I was working an internship from start of my freshman year until the end of my summer before transferring to sophomore year. And it was a great internship that I worked. It was an internship at a law firm, a boutique law firm, small law firm. That was also when it was in my fall quarter, my freshman year, I joined Moot Court. And from then on out, I just worked with people in Moot Court, and I am currently now the vice president of Moot Court. The other organization that I also joined was the Undergraduate Business Association, and I've been part of it since. I've been a regular member, and I love all the resources and everything else that every member gets from the Undergraduate Business Association, resume help, career help. Definitely something that's been very beneficial. However, it wasn't until my sophomore year where I didn't decide until my sophomore year to join Pre-Law Society, and I just love Pre-Law Society in my sophomore year, and Pre-Law Society so far has been great as well. I'm also, like how Angel said, I'm also an FGFQ mentor, and one of the things that I also do is that I'm a SAL undergraduate teaching assistant, which is a program under the UCI Law School where undergraduate students get to become teaching assistants to tutor ninth grade students and to also help ninth grade students out 6 Saturdays per session on learning about the First Amendment and just the basics of government and just the basics of basic legal rights most people know. But yeah, that's how I got involved. That's how I found my journey, and it was through FGFQ that really started everything, because by joining the first generation first quarter program, I was able to get into contact to the president at the time, who was Logan Knight. He's actually a really good friend of mine now. Same thing with Kimo Gandol. And it was through SARC advisor Patrick Del Rosario, who was there at the time. He left last year, but it was through Patrick that I was able to get into contact with him and join. And essentially, it's just like, the thing about SARC is that if anybody who's trying to get into leadership positions, it's literally like a sort of, I don't want to say a pipeline, but it's sort of like a heart where it has like multiple veins. It's like just like an artery or like a system of just different organizations you get involved with.
And yeah, I can go next. So when I transferred here, I was also a part of FGFQ. I was a mentee, and through there, actually, I don't know how this happened, but my mentor at the time, she was actually the co-president of LSPA. So she really invited me to go to LSPA, which, for those of you who don't know, LSPA is the Latinx Student Psychological Association on campus. And through there, I really became involved in the org. And then, through her mentoring and FGFQ, I then became an executive intern my first quarter in LSPA. So those were the two really I want to say main organizations and mentoring programs that I participated in with my time here.
Awesome. Thank you all so much for sharing. You all have diverse backgrounds. We have, those of you who get involved in business and, psychology and the social sciences and in, law and pre-law societies and FGFQ as well. So thank you all for sharing all these, wonderful organizations and clubs and programs, because for those of us watching at home, this is where you can get involved, right? These are the different organizations that we have here in the School of Social Sciences. Okay. Then I'm also going to place our next question in the chats, which is, you are all student leaders in the School of Social Sciences and UCI, broadly speaking. And what is the most rewarding part of being a student leader here on campus, right? Being a student leader has a lot of ups and downs. So go ahead and share some of the ups.
I can.
My answer,
Go ahead.
you can go first. Oh, my answer is pretty short. I was just gonna say, it's just like being able to make an impact and making new friends through joining new orgs and new leadership opportunities.
I can go next. Similarly, I think, currently right now, I serve as a co-president of LSPA, and I think it really warms my heart when I get to like connect with other students, and then like knowing that we're able to make like a difference in their journey here at UCI and their experience. So like, for example, last quarter, I had a member who came up to us and she was like, oh, this is the first time like LSPA, like I made a genuine friend in here, like at my time at LSPA. And, just like seeing them like feel welcomed in the space, and then also like seeing them like constantly coming back to like meetings or like social events. I think that really just speaks to like, I guess like the vision or like the mission of like organizations, and like wanting them to like find community and connect with other students within like the space that the organizations provide. So I think that's really, that just warms my heart a lot.
So one of the pros or ups of just being a leader in the School of Social Sciences is that although on certain projects that you're working on, a lot of people will be depending on you, and even your boss or your supervisor or whatever. At the end of the day, when you get something done, it just makes you feel good in the sense that you did something that not only was it something that you had to do, because everybody at UCI is thinking about, oh, hey, let's build this resume, let's do this, let's do that. It's like when you're done with something, it's like it's almost as if you did something that served a purpose, right? Like just like for FGFQ or something, it's like you did something that really benefited somebody in society, that really like just helped them out. And at the end of the day, it's like everybody talks about our school mascot, and Peter the Anteater. It's like we're all anteaters. It's like, yeah, we're all anteaters, and that's the thing about the UCI community. It's like we all have to do some stuff to also help us out. And so I mean, yeah, that's one of the good things. It's one of the pros about being a student leader. Just you got to get done what you got to get done. You have people depending on you, but at the end of the day, you feel good about what you did.
Yes, thank you so much for sharing. We spoke a little about making an impact and having your, your peers and colleagues make a connection with one another. And I think these are some of the bright spots of being a leader. And for our folks watching at home, this is where you can be one day, right? These are the types of impacts that you can make. So if making an impact is something that you want in your time here at UCI, in your undergraduate experience, then being a leader is for you. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and put our next question in the chat, which is, what is the most difficult part about being a leader here on campus?
My answer for this is pretty short as well. I guess the most difficult part is just thinking that I need to know the answers to everything, but in reality, we're all like students here as well. Even though we are leaders, like we're student leaders on campus. So I tend to tell myself like it's okay not to know like the answer to everything. But yeah, sometimes I just feel like I should know it. And at first I didn't feel guilty, but I felt like I wasn't doing as well as I should. So I guess that's like the most difficult part about being a leader.
I can go next. I think for me, it's really hard not to like try to experience burnout because you're also balancing like being a student, but then also like being a leader. And that can, lead to like burnout really quickly if you don't know how to like take care of yourself and really like find like, I guess, like a grounding space in your community. So, really trying to navigate like how do I take care of myself and like serve my community as I should be like served and not experience burnout so I don't like fulfill my role as I should be doing.
I could go next. One of the things that are really weird about being a student leader on campus, at least from my personal experience, is that because people trust you and they know your work ethic and they know your reputation and everything else. It's like they'll come up to you and they'll ask you like certain questions where you would be wondering yourself, why are you asking me this? And it's like, I'll still find a way to help them out. If I can't answer it, I'll find a person who can answer it, or I'll point them at the right department. But the thing about being a student leader is that there's a great deal of responsibility that comes into it. And what I mean by that is like, let's say if you're not like, even if you're not doing something for an organization that you're part of, or even if it's not for work or whatever it may be, when you're still on quote unquote off the clock, there's always this like reputation that you have where one, people know that they can trust you, where two, even if you can't get the answer that they need, you'll find the right department that can give them the right answer. So it's like there's a great deal of responsibility that comes with it. Because I mean, you definitely don't want to give anybody the wrong information. I mean, there's some sort of consciousness issue in that as well. But yeah, just a responsibility sometimes. It's about it.
Awesome. Thank you all so much for sharing. Much appreciated. We're going to go ahead and hop into our final question of today's workshop, okay? Which is, advice for any future leaders and any advice for our attendees at home, okay? Which is, do you have any piece of advice for students who aspire to continue their leadership or to start their leadership journey? Okay, as a prospective student, what is a piece of advice that you have for me?
I think the advice that helped me the most, I guess like transitioning to my first year and my second year was just getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. I learned that I learn the most and have the most fun when I'm out of my comfort zone. So just putting myself out there, which is hard, and just being able to take that first step. And then I realized, oh wait, it's actually not that bad. So just being comfortable with like being uncomfortable, and just also being okay with having a different pace than other people. Like you don't have to feel rushed. Just because college is technically like 4 years doesn't mean like you have to graduate in 4 years. Some people take longer. Some people decide to pick up like another major or a minor, or take a gap year or anything. So like I guess in terms of like timing as well, like there's no rush and people can take it at their own pace.
I can go next. Kind of similarly to Eileen, I would just say like put yourself out there. I came into UCI like looking at myself back like 2 years ago. I was very shy. Like I very much hated like speaking about like my experiences or like public speaking. That was very much not my forte. But I like took the step and really like put myself out there despite, being uncomfortable. And just like she had mentioned, really just being comfortable with the uncomfortable helped me really go on my journey to becoming a leader. So really just like seeing yourself where you could never see yourself before is something I would say. And then for those who are maybe wanting to continue their leadership journey, I would just say like ground yourself in the communities that you want to serve, because that's usually where you find like passion and like dedication to like keep going and like leading and inspiring.
Yeah, and I'll go ahead and go next. To sort of bounce off of some of the ideas that Miriam and Eileen shared. Basically, don't be scared to do anything. And be open-minded too. I mean, I mentioned this in today's session where I'm also an FGFQ mentor and a SAL undergraduate teaching assistant. If you were to tell me 3 years ago that you're going to do that, or that you would possibly consider doing it, I would say, no, not really. But now I am, because I was open-minded and I said, hey, why not give it a chance? Okay. You'll never really know how things are going to go if you don't at least give yourself a chance, and if you don't at least try. There's always a two-part story where one, you have to give yourself a chance. You also have to give, what you're doing a chance as well, whether it be joining, a sport team, a club, applying for a job, filling out applications or different thing, getting a different leadership position than what you already have now, whatever it may be. If you don't necessarily, one, give yourself a chance, you don't give what you're trying to do or considering doing a chance. If you don't actually try it, if you don't go for it, you're never going to really know how it was going to be like, because you never did it. So don't be scared, be open-minded, take into account, other people's opinions, other people's considerations as well. And then at the end of the day, it's just your decision. That's about it.
Yes, thank you very much. Be open-minded, put yourself out there, be uncomfortable with being uncomfortable, and see yourself grow, right? See yourself prosper and grow into a student leader here at UCI. Joshua shared that his piece of advice is for everyone looking to continue in leadership is to stay humble and to always be a student, even in leadership. Those are beautiful words right there, Joshua. I'm going to go ahead and share an opportunity for our folks watching at home, an opportunity to maybe learn a little bit more about organizations here at UCI, which is the Winter Anteater Involvement Fair. Okay, and this is happening February 8th and 9th. So this Wednesday and this Thursday from 11 to 2 o'clock. Again, this Wednesday and this Thursday from 11 to 2 o'clock. It's going to be in Middle Earth, right? So it's going to be in the Dome of the Stars in Middle Earth Towers. And this is going to be a great opportunity for you all to learn maybe ways to get involved and meet new friends and learn more about UCI's campus spirit. And this is a great start right here, okay? You'll be able to chat with club officers and find new ways to get involved at UCI, okay? Alrighty, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and stop this recording. And thank you all so much for joining us from home. And if you need anything, please don't hesitate to reach out to SSARC, and have a great rest of your day.